Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Mechanical Warriors. My name's Josh Cav and I've got an exciting episode for you this time. We're going to put paint on the Supra. Yeah! Okay guys, so in the last episode we got all the panels ready for paint. So we went through, blocked them back, undercoated them, guide coated them, blocked them back. If you haven't watched that episode, check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Anyway, in this episode we're going to put paint on the car. So the few things we've got to do first, basically the body, I'm going to work on the body first. So I'm going to push this out. We're going to sand this guide coat back so our body goes back to flat again. And then we're going to paint all of these sills, the door trims, the engine bay. We're going to get paint on that. We'll mask all that up, hang all the doors, hang the guards and everything, and then we'll paint the whole car in one hit. But the first thing I've got to do is, you can see from all this undercoat spraying, see all this powder everywhere? This is throughout the whole booth. So I'm going to push the car out, we'll block it back out in the sun, and then I'm going to hose this whole booth out, get all this dust out so we're back to a nice clean booth again, and then we'll push the car back in. Well, after it dries, it's got to dry out, but after that's dried, we'll push the car back in, and then we'll start putting paint on all these sills, clear on them. Yeah, get this car ready for paint. Let's start. All right, job's done, booth's clean. Let's move on to the car and start sanding this baby. Okay guys, so we got the main car done. There was a couple little spots right here where it's gone through a bit. That's all right, nothing too serious. We can sort that out. A little bit of undercoat and I'll sand it back. I'll just do that area. Other than that, the only other spots where it rubbed through was there. So one or three little touch-ups to do. I'll just give that a light sand and then that's it, done. So I'm gonna move on to the engine bay now and start sanding back this engine bay. And then once all that's done, we are good to chuck this back into the booth, start spraying colour. Okay everyone, I've sanded the whole car back, including the engine bay. It is ready for paint. Before I start, I'm just going to fix these two little spots where we've rubbed through to bare metal. Just going to use a little bit of canned undercoat, just give it a quick little mist over, sand it back, wash it, and we're putting this thing into the booth. We're set up to start painting engine bay and all the door trims and seals. Okay guys, so touched up them two areas. There's that one done and that side done. Still got to block that back, but I won't do that today. I'll let that dry and that'll be like a 5-minute job tomorrow. So now I'm going to push this back into the booth and start prepping all the panels for paint. So grease and wax remover and get the whole car ready to start spraying colour. So let's get it back in the booth. Okay guys, car's back into the booth. I'm not going to procrastinate too much about this. I'm just going to get in and get it done. So my plan is I'm going to do 2 coats of colour, 2 coats of clear. Going to have 20-minute intervals in between each coat. That's pretty much it. A few things that you should know if you're going to attempt to do something this yourself. Make sure your compressor has a water separator attached to it and make sure that you empty it every single time you use the gun. Okay, get into a habit of doing that. You do not want to have a blodge of water come through the line and mess up your paint job. So from here on out, I'll be double checking and triple checking everything before I apply paint because I don't want to make a mistake here. So let's get into it. We'll close this booth up and mix up some paint and get our first layer of color on. Okay guys, so for spraying colour and the clear, I'm going to switch to my Old Faithful gun. She's a bit blocked up, so I've got a cleaning kit that I've got to put through it. The thing I like about this gun as opposed to the other one is the fan on this, which is how wide the paint gets spread, which is adjusted here on this screw here. The more you wind it out, the bigger the fan gets. And with clear, you want to have a really nice widespread fan to try and get an even spread, especially when you're crossing or overlapping, I should say. If the fan's too narrow, it's much easier to get runs in the clear. We're gonna clean this gun up. Another thing I like about this gun too is you can adjust the angle of this pot. So if you're trying to get like up underneath angles and stuff like that, you can quickly adjust it and spray in all different angles, whereas the other one, it's just attached to the top. You can't flip it sideways or any. So we're gonna spray with this so we get all the areas we wanna get, but I've got to do some cleaning. So I'll clean it up, we'll mix up some paint, we'll get some color on this car. Let's do it. Okay guys, so we're going to mix up some paint now. So this is just base coat paint, so it's a 1-to-1 mixture, so that's basically half paint and half thinners. Let's do it. Okay guys, we've got paint mixed up, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. Okay, so we got the color on. I know this actually looks a little bit green, but I promise you it's just a trickery of lights with this green booth and reflecting off the walls, but it is grey. So I've got clear in this gun now. I'm going to give it its first coat of clear, give it 15 minutes to dry, and then we'll hit it with the second coat. And we'll let this dry overnight, and then that's done. We'll mask it all up and move on to the panels. So let's start spraying. Alright, so engine bay painted up, door trims and boot trims painted up. So we can set this shell aside now and start focusing on all the other bits, getting paint and clear coat on the underside of the doors, underside of the boot lid, underside of the bonnet, and also in our guards, on the front guards there. So let's get stuck into it. Okay, we've got everything grease and waxed removed, sanded down, I've got it all stacked there. Now I don't have the bonnet in here because the bonnet's going to be painted black, so that's going to be done in a separate spray session. So all this will be the metallic grey, and we're doing all just the inserts only, so colour and clear over everything. So let's zip this booth up, get the paint on, and then we'll let it dry and we'll be able to assemble all these panels onto the car. Let's go. Okay guys, so we've done all the door trims and boot, underside of the boot, the guard trims, everything. We've got colour and 2 coats of clear on there now. Just got to let all this dry, and then we can bolt all this stuff up onto the body, start masking it up. and then we'll get ready to paint the whole car. Okay, so it's been a few hours now. Paint's now dry. I'm pretty happy to put these or hang these doors and the front guards. I'm not going to do the boot. That's a two-man job. Anyway, we'll hang the doors. Now normally even with hanging the doors, I'd recommend not to do it on my own, but because I've put these on my own like 16,000 times, I feel quite confident doing it myself. So I'm going to hang the doors, hang the two side guards, and we'll hang the boot lid tomorrow. So what I'm going to do, just to try and minimize any potential scratches, I'm going to put these over it and I'll remove them once I've sort of got it roughly in place. All right. Put my bolts here before, see if I can, I've got one in. Alright, one in and located. Look at that. Now I have already put the rubbers on, so they should not hit. Door one hung. Let's move this car around and we'll do number two. Okay. They're not heavy, but they're not light. So far so good. Look at that. Door number two, you beauty. Okay. Now these guards are a little bit tricky to get on because there's a tab here that has to go behind. Yeah. Now I've got some screws here, and I'm not going to put them all the way down because we're going to use Allen key, stainless steel Allen key bolts on these top screws that you can see, which I'll pick up tomorrow. But just to keep it from moving or falling off, the ones behind the lights I can screw right in, like this one. All right, let's do the other side. Tab behind here, that's going to go around the right way. Now these screw holes, after you've put a bit of paint on them, they can be a little bit hard to get the screw started. You want to just make sure that you don't cross thread the screw when you're putting it in. So try and wind it in with your fingers as far as you can. And don't force anything. Never force screws. If something's not moving, there's something wrong. Don't just start cranking something down. That's how you strip and break things. Alright, so you can see why we do all these inner parts first in the engine bay, because when we hang these doors with these side guards and the doors, all inside here is all done. And then what we're going to do is mask all these bits up, and then we'll spray this whole car, the outside, in one go. In the engine bay, look good. This color looks really nice, especially in this light. It just looks beautiful. So far so good. I'm going to continue tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. We've got the car out of the booth. I put the boot on, the boot lid on. So everything's all now hung. The job today is I'm gonna sand all of these guards back so that we've got a nice white undercoat like this, or grey undercoat, over the entire vehicle.
사랑은 지겨워, yeah, it's born. 특히 우리 사랑은 역겨워. It's boring, I'm yawning, I'm done with talking. Making it feel dumb, I'm getting bored.
Okay guys, so I've finished sanding the whole car. That literally took all day to do. So the next job now is masking this whole car up. So everywhere where we've put fresh paint from our last painting session, we need to mask all that up. Okay, it's a new day. We've got the car in the booth. It's all dried and washed out. So today I'm going to be masking this whole car up everywhere that we've painted. And then hopefully if we get it done today, we'll spray the rest of the car as well. We'll see, we'll just have to see how we go. Okay, so engine bay's done. Give you guys a look. Now what I wanted to show you with this tape, see how this tape is folded? So the sticky edge is folded over. So we want to have like if you can imagine a V, or a V like this, and you want the mist to start thick and taper off to nothing. And that's kind of what we're trying to do with that tape like that. And then later on, instead of having a distinctive line from having a tape mark, we'll have kind of a rough edge that we can polish out later. Let's move on to the doors. All right, so we have finished masking up all of the sills, engine bay, door sills, and everywhere where we put paint. So the next job is mask up this area here. So the roof is going to be painted black. So we're going to paint that first, and I've got to mask up along here and basically wrap this whole car so that only this roof is shown. Then we're going to spray the black color on. We'll take all the masking off and then we'll mask up over that black roof, and then we spray the other color, which is the gray, around the whole car. Then we'll take that masking off the roof off and spray the whole car with clear. Okay, so we've got our lines now. Just so you can see, I'm using two different types of tape here. So this tape here is actually a plastic tape and not a paper style tape. And the edge of paint that runs up against the tape, you want to have this plastic tape, because if you use a tape like this, what happens is it actually soaks up some of the paint and primer. When you peel it off, you don't get a perfectly straight edge. It kind of looks a little bit jagged if you look at it really closely. So with these plastic tape, you won't have that issue. Okay, so we've done two coats. I'm going to now basically remove this bag from the car very carefully. I'm going to try and do it in a way to minimize. I'm going to kind of roll it as I pull it off and get rid of this bag while the paint is still a little bit wet. It's a bit smelly in here, so I'm going to wear a mask to do this, but I'll time lapse it for you guys. This color is now dry enough to put my masking on. It won't pull it off when I pull the tape back. So we're going to mask this black area up that we've just painted, and then we're going to spray the rest of the car. So let's do it. Okay everyone, I'm back again, another day working on this paint job. So yesterday we had some disaster yesterday. So what happened was I was just about ready to start spraying clear over the car, and the booth fan just randomly shut off and the whole booth deflated over the car. I was in the booth at the time. There was unfortunately a little bit of damage. Just here, one of the lights fell over and hit the corner here. A couple other little nooks and crannies here. I've got to today fix these dings. Unfortunately, because it's metallic and I'm really after that showroom finish, we're going to have to spray the whole car again with color, which is unfortunate. There was some other damage to the roof as well. I've tried to I've got this back to flat again, and I'm just going to repaint the roof as well. Basically everything that we've done yesterday, I've got to do it again. Now with the booth, I'm not 100% sure why it did what it did. I believe the motor overheated for some reason because it was really, really hot, but everything happens for a reason. So let's just deal with it and move on. Okay, so finally we are back to a ready to start paint after the big catastrophe that happened yesterday. So I have sanded this whole car again, painted the top roof again, and we're back to where we were yesterday at about the same time too. So we're doing good for time. It is now time to mix up paint and start spraying color. Oh my goodness, it's over. We have finished 4 coats of clear on the car. Take my thongs off, my thongs are sticking to the floor. Anyway, let's have a look at it. Here she is, you beauty. this car has officially got my blood, sweat and tears. Because yesterday was the first time I shedded tears for this vehicle after what happened with the boot. But we've bounced back bigger and stronger. It is finished, it's painted. I'm so happy with the outcome. So now let's move on to the other panels. What an absolute mission that was. Finally finished. I've assembled the car behind me here on the hoist, got all the panels done. That was basically 9 weeks worth of work that's come to fruition here. Out of everything, my car being stolen, all the things that happened wrong, the booth going down and breaking, the fans breaking, we got there in the end. The car's assembled, well, not completely assembled, but all the panels are on. And we still haven't buffed the car yet. That's something that we've got to do next. That will get rid of all the little dust imperfections and just little tiny things that you probably won't see on the camera, but in person you can spot them. So that'll be the next for the paint job. But at the moment, I'm kind of just so happy painting is over, I'm done. So I'm gonna give you a slow motion around the car now and show you how it all turned out. And then we're gonna wrap this up. So there we have it, guys. The paint job on the Supra is finally finished. After all the dramas and all the things that happened, we finally got there in the end. It's finished now. If any of you guys want to jump on board and get tickets to this car, please download my app, Mechanical Warriors. Just search the App Store. You'll find it on there. It's on Google Play as well as the Apple Store as well. So jump on that, or you can head to the website www.mechanicalwarriors.com.au. Get yourself a ticket into the draw. It'd be really helping me out, keeping me moving forward with this project and doing other cool stuff like this. The next video, we're going to be doing the K-frames. I've already got them out. We're going to be disassembling them, so that'll be the next video we release. So stay tuned, guys. I really appreciate everyone's support, and we'll see you for the next one.